Back to another daily session of the Paintology drawing app by Ferdouse, and I'll be going through a particular drawing today. It's not this one that I have. It's the just going through the lessons I did yesterday, the live stream, and this was the second one of the fish, and I completed it and posted a link where you can see the actual drawing. It actually looks quite easy when you first look at it, but in fact, it's quite hard because you're pretty much doing tiny details with the color changes, which makes up this exotic fish. Yeah, and that was hard part. It wasn't like a uniform type of color that I could use again and again. It was quite a myriad of colors, those red stripes, the orange stripes, and that. But I think I managed to pull it off. You can decide, yeah, on that. So I'll be putting a complete short video of this, the whole drawing, so you can see that to see the part of the. I spent like 45 minutes after I completed the session to make this drawing. So let me go ahead and show you the other one. This one also, which I completed. This was again another 40 minutes. 40 minutes seems to be a good number, actually. So after I've left the live stream session, I continued for another 40 minutes to finish this. So you can see it looks a lot more pleasant and a lot more pleasing to the eye, isn't it? And what I did was I basically didn't change anything. I used the last minutes of the in the last minutes of the live session, I was continuing putting in details, and you can see how I actually pulled off the details. It's all about techniques. Just keep in mind that if you if you're defining your artwork by tools alone, and unfortunately it's going to be limited by the tools. But if you're defining your artwork by techniques, art techniques that have been the mainstay of traditional materials such as pencil, charcoal, then you're developing exceptional techniques, and that's why we appreciate all the great art pieces done in the traditional medium. Same is true of mere tradition digital. It's just that people gravitate towards the pencils, digital tools to do everything, blending such as this I showed you in the background, filling in colors, doing encapsulating an area of the region in order to fill it with a color and then blending it. These are all digital effects and tools that you get accustomed to when using tools, but in reality, digital can be used just like traditional, just like the way I do it. I do have a background in traditional, and often I get the question I get asked in Quora whenever I'm active participant of the digital drawing, and then write to many questions, any answers related to the questions people have. I think I have over 1,400. One of the questions I get often asked is sorry, this escaped my mind just now. I was thinking about something different. Is It'll come back to me. Sorry about that. There's quite a few things going through my mind right now. So let's pull up some few resources. So I'm in the portrait mode of the drawing, and here's the Quora. You can see a lot of Quora. This is my actual profile. Here you'll see, there you can see I have 2,286 followers and my credentials, and I'm an admin, the Paintology, and then you can see I've answered over 1,300 answers related to drawing. So here And then I can also go show you Paintology. I can go there and then show you the daily stuff that I put in there, like these drawings. Yeah, so you can get a very quick update if you come here and follow me on this space. It's the way to get to it is paintology.quora.com. So now let's look up the so look the way I draw. Typically, this is the way I draw. I've got this Note 10 phone, beautiful phone. It's one of my best phones for drawing. I found it to be it's exceptionally great for my drawing capabilities. But I have another set of phones. I draw with all of them, but the reason I find the Note 10 is good for me is because it comes with a native stylus, which I like. But you're perfectly used to use your fingers if you're starting out. And then if you draw more and more, you may find the stylus is good for that with the Paintology app. And also, stylus is dirt cheap. It doesn't have to be that expensive. Oops, that's not what I meant. This is just one of the pencil drawings I've done. It's a lot of drawings I've done, which you can check out on my I'll show you my artworks. Let me see a lot of drawings that you can do on the phone, and I'll show you just a handful of them. This one I did as well. So it's in landscape mode, but you can see the details I've added using. My artwork does not look like digital. People are confused as to how I drew this. I posed a question once and said, "Can you tell me what medium I use?" And they just came up with mixed medium, named about 4 or 5 traditional mediums for each section of the artwork. I was quite flattered, of course, but I replied that I did it on my phone using digital, and then no response, which is a shame. There's a pencil drawing that you can do, you see? And this is actual digital drawing. It's my nephew I did. This one, yeah, pencil drawing, you can see. And you can use the straight lines to make really interesting drawings, such as this one as well. There's all on the videos. Here's of the rock I did a short while ago. The rock on there. And a lot of these are, of course, freehand. You might like this one, it's the horse. Quite like this one, photorealistic drawing a few years back, a couple of years back. And then, so there's plenty of examples for you to get a lot. But the entire reason I can draw like this is a pencil drawing. I found this drawing in another channel, so I decided to draw it. So there's one on the tablet, drawn on the tablet. You can see. I think you may recognize this drawing. It was done with the pencil brush. So if you like pencil drawing, you have what is called the shade brush. Yeah, this is the shade brush of the. If we go here, line brush, shade, and see here, that's what the shade brush is. It operates like a pencil, and I'm going to show you. Let's exit out of that and get a new drawing, a blank canvas here, and then you can see that's the shade brush. So I usually use the pencil in grayscale mode, so you can see here. See, just like and then you adjust the size setting. Look at that. And then you can zoom in. That's why the phone is such a powerful device for drawing. The zoom and the rotate feature. Many people don't understand that, and they stick to the old methods of using sophisticated apps hooked to a tablet, and they think that they've launched their career in digital art. Digital art, you have to understand there's a reason for why we have digital art. There was an evolution of the demand for digital art, which was primarily driven by the World Wide Web and internet in the late late 90s when Yahoo was huge, 96, and then it went from there, and Google came on in the picture, search engines, and then more websites came online, companies jumped to, and that was the time when I started my technical career in internet web developing e-commerce websites. So my background isn't in art. You may think it's in art, but I've had no formal education in art. And you can see that you can do any kind of skill if you so desire to put your mind to it. It's only a requirement of your mindset, nothing to do with inherent skills someone else has, and they have the inherent skills because they developed it. So I'm sure you're here because you want to pick up some essential skills of art, and you find this useful, especially in digital. If you ask me to draw in digital, I would straight away pick my phone or tablet and start drawing with Paintology. But I would never touch the Photoshop for drawing because those are entirely for logos, graphics, illustrations. That's what I use it for, and I'm pretty good, I'm pretty advanced user of Photoshop with the tablet attached to it, but I wouldn't use it for creating my digital drawings. For logos and illustration and vector graphics and all that, maybe. So you can see you can create some nice picture drawing. You may have seen one that probably attracted you to the site, and these are pencil drawings you can do right on your phone. So I've been doing interesting stuff, and believe it or not, but since I've started doing these live streams with you guys, like I started less than 2 months ago, I would think, I have actually improved significantly my appreciation of the app. I can only look at this app that I developed and I'm thinking there were always good reasons why I developed this app. It wasn't primarily to be another app along the shelves of all the other digital apps. It was, my mindset is always to bring something new and unique to the world of anything that I undertake, like drawing. And the reason for this was to teach you these techniques, which are not actually done by many of the other digital artists. They just continue to promote, in my opinion, old school way of digital drawing, which is the Wacom tablets or connected to Photoshop, and all these others beginners embark on that same path. I mean, you can, if your aim is to launch a career in 3D animation, yeah, by all means do that. But if you are like me, like fine arts, traditional artists who want to transition to the digital medium, this is it. You don't need to use all those tools. You will see that I don't venture out to any tools. I stick to one line, two line brushes, change the opacity setting, and that's it. I'm able to draw with, like, and then that's why people cannot connect the dots with what I draw and how I've drawn it. And hopefully you can when you watch me draw and when you also try it for yourself, how easy it is. It is, in fact, the fundamental core skills of art which are taught at the art, in any art classes, tones and values. This has always been designed for that because I was a good traditional artist and I knew, and I was also very, very good technically. And my background is in technical. I've been doing that for 20, 30 years. So I combine the two to bring you Paintology. And that's the reason for Paintology. It's got tutorials which I've organized and you can follow these. These are like to paint by numbers, for example. I'll show you this one, paint by numbers. You can go down and simply click on one of these and then you'll see that these have got numbers. Look, can you see? This has all been designed with a purpose in mind. Look, I can go here, go to the line brush. Better to use a line brush. Come on, why don't you go away? Okay, here. So you can see I got a line brush, and then I just simply take pick up 2, pick up 1, change the brush size, zoom in, and get really to the edges. What is these are all designed fun drawing methods, but they've all been designed to do one thing: improve your artwork. That's been one a passion for many traditional artists, to improve your drawing strokes like this. Look, 5, then I go to 5, and then I can rotate, move it around. You're not going to get that anyway. You can sit down and finish this in a very short time, and this improves your drawing. Appreciate colors. It was actually the reason I did the pen by numbers, and you'll find many 200 of these, that it actually launched my my interest in drawing and painting again. It was something that remained dormant for a good part of my life, and then suddenly, then I would give some lame attempts of trying to get back into drawing. I even bought a canvas and tried to paint, and I thought just can't do this. And then I lacked the confidence, and then it just remained dormant for so many years until I picked up this. Until I had some time in my hands, and I picked up Paint by Numbers hobby kit, and then I went ahead, painted it, hung it on my wall, and I got a lot of praise from my friends and family. And then I thought that sort of spurred me on. Sometimes you need a catalyst like that. And then, would you believe it? That confidence that I was lacking for the 20, 30 years suddenly came back, and I was on a roll. I was getting acrylic paint. I mean, the the hobby store recognized my face because I used to go there practically once, twice a day to buy some traditional stuff and start painting. I tried acrylics, drawing, pencil, charcoal, and then I tried all kinds of mediums until I decided to embark on digital. Now I can tell you that I'm hooked to digital. Would I do traditional? Yeah, I would, but only if as an art piece. There's quite a few art pieces that my sister adorns her house with, quite big ones, small ones, charcoal, all types. But I would do that for purely for the sake of an exhibition or something like that. But if I want to do digital, this is what I love most. In fact, I enjoy it. I enjoy the fact that you can save this painting and resume it again. So in fact, the reason I do these live streams almost on a religious basis, only because I enjoy it. Truly, you enjoy drawing, and the reason I enjoy it is two things. One is I'm showing the techniques and showing the aims of what the Paintology app can do, and then so you can see the value of it. And secondly, I'm learning myself. I am learning something. I can guarantee I will learn something new when I do this drawing with you. So this drawing, I've challenged myself. So if you if you do not know already, you can go to here are a few things I want to show you. Go to paintology.com and click on the link that says live streams. You'll find this under the video. Yeah, there's a video just below the video. Click on that link and you'll see that 30th September. There's an image link here. You see, this is the image we're gonna use, reference image that we're gonna draw. Looks pretty challenging to you, doesn't it? But I would like to challenge myself. I'm never the one who's going to stick to one thing. Here's another one. Beautiful image, isn't it? Now that the winter scene is coming up, so I'm going to download that. So I simply click on it, download it, and I'm ready for my reference. So this is all the streaming reference images. And of course, you go to the YouTube and you can see all the content, with that you want. Live stream, there's probably about 30 or I think pretty much 40, because I've been doing it close to less 2 months possibly every day, and then you'll see all the live streams and then you can follow along to it. And you'll see that if you did follow along to it, if you did sit through the hourly sessions, and that's pretty brave of you, you will see that I've been improving while I've been showing you, and that's what interests me. It's not boring. It's actually very fascinating because as I'm showing you, I'll be learning something. So this is the challenge I've set myself. Okay, so let me show you a few other drawings in case you're new to this session. So you saw this fish, right? That I let me get out of grayscale. So this fish, okay, and then there's a few more that I've done. So I've shown you the bluebell. Is that the bluebell? I think it is. That's the flower, the bluebell. And then I will show you this one I'm particularly fond of. Look at this one, right? It's right on the phone. And I also did that in a live stream. Isn't that wonderful to look at? Like, yeah, you've rendered something, and then a lot of you will say, "Oh, it's copying," and also use trace image. I mean, come off it, you know. Have you seen some of my freehand drawing? The reason I can draw freehand is because I've adopted these skills rapidly through the techniques I'm going to show you, right? Those people who look at it from the point of view how it was done. Do you actually go to the museum and look at a Turner or Constable painting and said he cheated somehow? You don't care about the techniques he used. You don't even want to question even what medium they used, but yet they produce a marvelous piece of art on a big piece of art. I've got a few pieces like that. If you care to see it, I'll see. Hit me up and I'll send it to you. Send you my large Monet type paintings I've done, even charcoal, freehand, pencil drawing, you name it. I've got a lot that I can show you. So these are all techniques. Remember, I'm not teaching you about tools. I'm teaching you art techniques that you can carry with you to any art mediums. Just remember that, any art medium. If you go to any digital online classes or anything, they will only talk about techniques in the first 5-10 minutes, fundamentals. And then after that, they will immerse themselves in the specific app they're going to show you drawings, how to draw. And they're always turning to tools. Even GPT, I posed a question is how do you become really good at digital art? And even they said you need technical mastery of the tools. Really? And then I'm thinking, why would Chat GPT? That's because the majority of the people draw that way. They use every tool under the sun. They use shading, brush, blending, blurring, you name it, blurs, autocorrections. And then what's that going to end up with your artwork? It's not going to look anything like what I'm showing you. It's going to look digital. Everything will look too accurate. Nature is chaotic, and nature is beautiful because it's chaotic. It's not perfect. The mountains are not perfect. Look closely enough, you'll see how I did that. Used big brushes, there you are, and then just created those strokes, and we get away with it. You go to a museum, same thing. You look at a piece of art, you get close enough, you'll see some mishmash of colors, yet they manipulated it to such a way, the artist, that the whole picture, when you step back, the whole painting comes to life. This is the essence of drawing and painting, and this is the way the techniques I'm going to show you. So let's go ahead and pick that trace image that we downloaded, and then we're going to ask us, so how are we going to produce that? Well, first of all, you want to produce something pretty good. This looks like a big person up here, right? Looks like a huge person standing there. So it's quite an interesting picture. Don't tell me how I picked this. I just randomly went through a reference image and then found this one, and I thought this would be really good for it. And in particular, See these areas here, they're tones here and light tones here. You know, they are actually very interesting. They're very subtle. The snowman. Look at and the sky was a perfect rendition. It's darker and going all the way down to the low end. Yeah. So look at these, beautiful, and these colors are not quite white, right? They're sort of a creamy, almost like a porridge type color, right? So how are we going to end? And this is where you don't have to throw your arms up in there and says, I have no idea how am I going to do that. And the whole idea is the artist can take you to from zero to all the way to the finish is because they've developed these techniques. And many of you who throw their arms up in the air try and find reasoning or reassure themselves that they cannot draw like them because they don't have those skills that the others embody. Yeah, they don't have those skills. You don't have those skills they embody because you have not practiced. That's simple truth. It's not because they were born with it. Please get that out of your head. So anything can be learned. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to keep to the line brush. So it's very easy to follow a digital teaching, digital that's being taught. But if you go to another online digital learning course, you're going to see them accessing tool after tool after tool. It's never ending, never stops. I will be showing you how you develop important art techniques, art fundamentals that are key to good drawing. And this applies to traditional, digital, or any other art medium. It's just the way this is. It's not, and the digital apps and software were designed for non-artists. Keep that in mind. They were designed for non-artists. And you can read many of my blog posts, paintology.com, if you want to learn more. I've written a lot on this subject, and it's not just a short blurb. It's actually an essay you can read. I even submitted papers to the Oxford Academy of Art, the Oxford University, and they don't even get this type of method of painting and drawing because they're not. It's totally new. Whatever I bring, I usually bring something that's unique and not been done before. I'm a type of an experimentalist. I'd like to stretch the boundaries of what there is, what's available. So we're going to set this at 32% here. Can you see this top half is the reference image colors. Very easy. Block coloring, you should know by now how to do block coloring if you've seen me do it. It's nothing complicated about it. This top half is the reference image. We can access the colors of the reference image. If you're in this bottom half, left half, you're accessing your drawing canvas. So let me show you this color. I've got this one, right? That's and then if we go in between halfway, what do we have? We have a trace type of, you have your drawing and then you have the reference image, right? So now let's pick the colors here, right? That's the color of the reference image. I'll show you why it is. Let me pick this color, see? That's the actual color of the reference image, right? Now, if we were to go here, it's still picking the reference of the color pick of the reference because I'm in the top half, right? Now, if I were to be anywhere here and I pick this color, look, it's the color of my canvas. You get it? You will get it once you try it. Believe me, don't overthink this area. It's so easy. So what we're going to do is, I've taken it too far, 22%. And I'm keeping this cursor in the reference area so I can continue to use the color picker. And then I pick the color picker so I get the tones for this, the tones that change. Remember I showed you an arrow? The tones change, the blue sky. Look how it's going down and so I'm transferring this to my drawing canvas. because ultimately we want to make our own drawing, right? So the same thing here. I'm going to go from the middle and go all the way up to there, because this is when you land the cursor at the point where you start drawing, that's the color that you picked, and you're now stretching this color all the way. So I'm assuming that there's a linear gradient that's on the sky, yeah? There you are, see? And now can you see what we have here on our, I go all the way to my canvas, zoom out, this is all I've done so far. So which is perfectly fine, this is block coloring. And you can go into tiny details if you so wish. Now I'm going to go here and pick these. Look how big the brush is once you zoom in. That is the real power of the phone. You may think it's 6-inch diminutive or anything, but believe me, when you go, look 500%, right? That's why you can make photorealistic drawing. I'm going to, as a rule of thumb, take it down halfway. Okay, that's what I tend to do. I take down the the it's very easy to follow, 20% then 10%, and I haven't changed anything. I'm just continuing to follow these different tones that I'm seeing. I'm not worried about these textures yet, right? I'm simply just trying to replicate the tones of these snow laden trees. I'm not even worried about this color. So I'm picking the general tones, and this is really done exactly like how artists would do it. They would lay down these colors first. And believe me, I can't wait to go and do a freehand drawing. You can actually challenge me and say, can you do this freehand drawing? This reference, and I'll try it. I'll have a look at it, and then say, can you do this with the skills you've learnt, but freehand? Yeah, I'm happy to do that because I find myself always having to choose the subject because nobody says anything otherwise. Maybe they're still trying to get their head around this unique method of doing digital art. But this has all been designed with one thing in mind, that is to improve your skills. And I've spent 4 or 5 years developing this app, still free, but eventually I'm going to have to monetize it because I put a good part of my chunk of my life's work into this, so I'm going to have to. But right now you're enjoying the benefits while it's still growing. So look, you can go really quickly. I don't like wasting time. I'm going to go really quickly. Right, just picking these different tones, ignoring the textures. I'm not bothered about the textures. I'm just laying down these initial tones there, you see? But I'm going to finish this tree and then I'm going to show you. Well, look at this. I see this part and then I see this as a tone and then I see this as a tone. This is what you should be looking at, okay? This is a tone, okay? That's all it is. See, this is a tone, and that is a different tone. So then you pick the color picker to pick that tone in that area. Right? That's what gives. This is called tonal coloring or tonal painting, and it's something traditional artists are very familiar with. But they can't really talk about it because to the extent that I could in this digital medium. And the reason I can talk about in this digital medium is that we have a common platform. With traditional, there are all kinds of tools, canvases, paints, and then to explain to a fellow student, you have to mix these colors in order to get this exact tone that I'm doing here. It just takes the pleasure of drawing away. You have to learn color theory and all that. Why bother, right? You got digital that does this. All you want to do is develop your tune your brain into these color tones, right? You don't want to go to the prospect of mixing colors, right? That's another leg of work that you just try not to, don't want to do. Let's have a look. See that? All these colors are part of that wonderful tree, and this is the drawing process. So I'm going to continue rapidly going through that, right? And then let's do this almost like man type of tree, isn't it? Look, have we got the brush? We haven't really got a good size brush. So let's do something a little different here. So let's take that down to 7%, right, or 6, right? Let's say. So we can now refine some of these colors. We've still got quite a large brush by any means. It's not like, right? And then I'm gonna show you what happens when we select a smaller brush. It's the nature of the eye, how the eye works. I told you earlier that if you look at a painting in a museum and then you go close up, it's a mishmash of colors. Now, I did that once when I went to the London Art Museum and I looked closely at the brushwork. It's just a mishmash of colors, but people generally are just worried about the whole beauty of the whole painting. An artist has to create this piece of art. They haven't got the time. They know that time is of essence, right? They can't spend 2 years doing a painting. They're going to make a living, isn't it? So that's why they give the illusion that the whole painting, when it's drawn in this manner, when you get close up, like for example, I'll give you an example. One of my favorite paintings, and probably yours, is John F. Constable's The Haywain. That painting is one of the most I don't know the word. It's one of the most popular painting in the world. It's about a scene where you have a marshy land with a cart on the marshland, and this boy and some man sitting on the cart, and then you have a dog barking and a cottage on the left, and then a far off plains, country plains at the back, and then I'm thinking, and then a very vibrant sky as well. It's meant to, it's one of the most, I don't know, that particular painting will be in the hundreds of millions of dollars or pounds, right? But when you look at it, and then I decided to do a block coloring of it, and I was like, using this, but really going in with the percentage brush, and keep selecting the color picker, and then you get to appreciate all the little nuances. I actually downloaded his painting from the National Art Gallery online. They have high resolution images. So I downloaded it and started working on it. And then I got to understand how he actually did his brushstrokes for the cart. Take the cart, for example. It's just a mishmash of colors with no real, that it doesn't look like a person. If you look closely, it looks like a mishmash of colors, and then there's a two probably color pigments he used for the face, and the cart was completely like off. But then he pulled it off. That's all it is. He pulled off the whole painting by basically just knowing that the artist is going to be standing afar and looking at it. And so he just did just enough. Same with Turner. I checked one of Turner's great piece of artworks, and then I looked closely. The one where he has that train, I believe. Look closely. There's a mishmash of colors, but yet the whole art piece looked wonderful. So I was very happy. I'll show it to you next time when I've shown you this particular drawing, because I keep mentioning it. So look at that. That's like a sort of a horizon where you can see as you get closer, the details come in into play. Since we've got this, we might as well do the 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 horizon here, right? Beautiful horizon. Just get these colors, right? That's all you're trying to do is just replicate these colors. Right? So when you zoom in, you're going to get to see a lot more tonal change variations in the particular drawing naturally, right? Just makes total sense. Okay, here. Right, let's see what we have here. This is what we've got so far, right? So with the smaller brush, you can see the details are coming out. That's really the essence of what the painting is all about. It's you will see an artist will always jump to the smaller brush. Why? Because it gives the details that we would provides the details that he's looking for. Okay, with that, I'm just going to see if I can create these fluffy clouds with the different. I'm not sure, but I'm not too bothered about the accuracy of it. I just want to get these tones down, the tones that make up this beautiful scenic image. Right? So I've challenged myself. I haven't done anything like this. So, you're doing something new and so am I. Just getting the challenges there. Can you see? Just getting the tonal variations down. See how I sort of drag that down? Because I know the colors don't change that much. And then there's a little mark that changes here, right? And then look at this blue. It's not changing as much. And we get a nice like color that we can work with. So we just continue, right? Just adding the basic colors. So instead of the bold colors that some artists will use, they would probably lay down with primary colors really quickly. They wouldn't work at this level. They can't because they need to create the details at very early on. But whereas we can create the details whenever we want because we got this powerful method of getting the right primary colors down, yeah. So this will teach you to in your when you come to do creative work, teach you to draw in a particular way, paint that actually renders the the range of tones. And of course, as you improve your stroke, you can do all kinds of drawing. You don't necessarily have to do fine art. The kind of artwork that I really enjoy is this nature because I love nature. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just laying down. Look how quickly I've laid down the tones. You can do the same. You don't have to work that fast. You probably are not as quick as me and right now, but you will get there. Let's see what we've got. We've got a pretty good thing going on here, right? And then we can just zoom in here in that area, right there, and then try and lay down this because we've got that there sort of changes here, the tones here, right there. That's what we have here. And then I'm going to save it because some of you know that I'm working with a prototype of the next release of this app, but you're fine to continue And if you do face any issues, do let me know. But I have to open it up in my paintings again. So this because we're working on some memory problems on this. And they're not. It affects a very small number of devices, not a lot. Anyway, so here, look at the color transition there. Beautiful, isn't it? And I'm trying to follow the line that changes, the tones that change. That gives you an idea of how your drawing strokes should be shaped up to be, right? I can see the transition of these colors change. You see how that changes? This really tunes your brain into thinking that any image, anything you see in nature is just a bunch of tones. But nature, there are thousands of tones, and as an artist, millions, and as an artist, you have to render those tones. That's the big challenge, yeah? So the reason why I challenged myself with this is I could see the tonal variations were very gradual, and it's something that if you asked me like a few months ago, I said, no way, man, I'm nowhere near at this level of creating tones at this level. But then I thought, I am getting better, so I might as well keep my viewers entertained, isn't it? Okay. See this? See these tones that I'm sort of somehow capturing, and then I'm switching to the line brush because I can see the dark tone. You really tune your brain, trust me, very fast by drawing like this. And then it really helps you with your total understanding of tones and values. You go to any art class, they're going to right away talk about tones and values. There's no better way than for me to show you tones and values using the app, right? They don't have any app to provide you with examples, but I do. Like this one. Look at the tones. Look at the palette. How many colors we've selected there. It's incredible. Can you imagine? And you're trying to select those colors. And the reason why I can select those colors in any type of drawing, when I'm drawing in freehand, let's say, is because I have improved my appreciation of tones. I can see subtle tones. You know why people talk about light is cast here? They use the light, falling, reflected light and all that. I just say, I don't need all that. I can see these tonal variations going on. Any picture, wherever the light may fall, I can see the tonal variations. And I showed you in one of the earlier drawings where I did not fail to recognize tonal variations. That was in the threshold of the higher bracketed tones levels, which I don't know if artists talk about that. It may be new because I'm doing something completely different. But I showed you that the clouds, that earlier drawing, but a few days ago I showed you where I drew this sunset scene where the layers of the landscape changed, where you can see tips of the mountain of the land and then tips of the clouds on the foreground, and then we check the colors of these, and even though they look blue, our eyes tend to make it look blue. In reality, it was dark. It was so interesting. It blew my mind, I tell you. See how I'm changing colors? I'm trying to keep the tones that are relevant to that. So I'm trying to stay true to the tones that are actually in this drawing. So that's all I'm doing the tones here. You can see the tones darker, maybe, and then here. Don't forget to save your work, because you never know if you spend half an hour working and then you lose it for power failure or whatever. Okay, let's see where we are on that. Look, the whole form is now taking shape, isn't it? Right? That's a drawing process, which I'm going to explain in more detail. And the drawing process is something which is not talked about in traditional art. And I'm thinking, why? It's such a critical process. Look at all these. They look like a blooming teddy bear that's sitting there, isn't it? How wonderful is that? I wonder how much was digitally manipulated, or if it was manipulated. Anyway, so what I'm saying is, let me capture these two. Sorry, I lost my train of thought again. So again, just fill in the areas. Yeah, the drawing process. And the reason the drawing process is not talked about in traditional is I believe, for a very good reason. And the reasons are being that it's very difficult for an artist. You may have seen the artists, right? They, you've probably seen many YouTubers like astonished at people's level of skills, right? And you're thinking, how do they get from a blank canvas all the way to that finished? And they have a process. They have a drawing process. So drawing process, let me tell you right now, is anything that takes from nothingness to somethingness, right? If that makes sense, means to nothingness from somethingness, right? So this is a drawing process. What that means is the drawing process is something that is done. I'm sorry, is something that an artist will use in order to take it from blank canvas all the way to the finish. Anything. Could be a piece of sculpture, anything, watercolors, acrylic, oil pastel, you name it, anything. And the drawing process there. And for a traditional artist to break down that process in order for you to follow it, just is too hard. So what do? They break it down into short segments, which is not very interesting to watch in the first place. Oh, excuse me. They break it down to short segments, which you keep practicing again and again until you get it right. And then they somehow try and couple it to the next step. And then the majority of you will just, for good reason, just come out of it and say, that's enough. I've had enough. I'm not going to do this all day. I'm trying to build a whole picture. But fortunately, now there is a way with the digital method, because you can, with the drawing process of a traditional, it's really hard for them to show, and then they break it down and make it uninteresting. That's the only problem I have with the with the digital process. You can see I usually complete a drawing from the whole process, and I usually make a really good drawing. You've seen it yourself, and now you can do the same. So the drawing process is something people would like to see from complete to finish, right? That's why they watch so many painters, and then the majority of them will go, "Oh no, another great piece of art, well done," but they'll never tend to do it themselves. They may, but majority won't do it for themselves. They will just watch. But now you can. So let's see what we have here. We've got this whole picture, right? Look at this. We've managed to put down, I'm looking at the darker color there. Managed to put down this, and now what are we going to do? We're going to slowly work our way adding more details. This is the next part of the drawing process, right? I don't think you'll throw your arms up in the air because you feel like you sense that you're getting closer to the actual end piece, right? And I'm not going to do it because I've done it enough times to know that I'm not going to stop here, am I? So let's look at the actual piece of drawing and then what we have, right? We have this beautiful clouds on the back, and then these lovely cloudy areas and this horizon. So I'm thinking the next thing we're going to do is try and build up these areas. Ignore the trees for the time being with the snow laden and just work at those. And let's see if we can do this really quickly. So I think I'm going to switch to the shade brush. Have you noticed that I haven't gone to any tools yet? Now I'm going to go to the tool set shade. Okay, get 100%. And then I'm going to take that up to 11% and watch what happens when I pick the color picker of the dark region and then just continue to work along it. Watch what happens. Isn't that how it's blending? Look how quickly we have blended that. Isn't that amazing? Be careful not to pick up the brown as I did a little earlier, you can see. Look at that, beautiful. This was my daughter's. She showed me this actually. I have to thank her for that. So here, look at that. There. Just blending it in. Look at that. Beautiful, isn't it? How quickly it blended. Look at that. I'm going to go quickly because there's a lot to do from this drawing, but usually I like to sit through and finish. Let's go work our way up now. Let's see, we've got 11% and then 100%. No changes of the density. And then we may increase that a little bit, tad. Let's pick this darker color and extend it. Pick that. Look how it's blended beautifully. You can hardly tell those lines, right? Look at that. Just going away. Nothing. Can you imagine using tools for that? Just a sheer impossibility of using digital tools to the blending tool for that. You don't know where to begin. Right? This is the real way of blending, just like they've done it in traditional materials. That's it. That's all there is. Let's see what it looks like. That looks pretty decent, isn't it? Good sky to me, I think. So now I'm going to save this. And then go open up the painters. Remember I was telling you I needed to do this with this particular prototype app that I'm working with. So this is what we have here. And now we can go into the details and apply the same thing that we've done, right? This time let's work with the smaller brush, right, to get these lovely fluffy clouds. Let's see what happens. All the time picking up this. See what happens. I don't know what the effect will be, but maybe interesting. You never know. All the time picking up these clouds. Remember, whatever you're doing now, you can do the same thing in freehand. So people may think, oh, it's not really learning. It's like these people who come thinking they have authority to speak on a subject and they've never done it before. It's like when you want to take them on as teachers, they're going to tell you, oh, you want to do the 100-meter run, right? And you want to enter the Olympics. Do that for 1,000 times. Okay, and then come back to me. Do that every single day. You know, they forget that there's so much behind the whole art skills. Would you take that advice? I wouldn't. That's the analogy I use whenever I want to have these naysayers who come in, because I've been watching too much rather than doing. So I've even had discussions with curators who thinks digital art is soulless. Can you believe it? How can they call it? If you draw like this, is this am I a robot when I'm drawing? Soulless. It's such nonsense. Yeah, I could see how I'm taking this, just blending it out, blending see that? Just blending it out. Beautiful, isn't it? How wonderful is that? Look at that. Beautifully blended. Look at that. Lovely. Still quite big brush, I could tell. You get a feel for this. Let's see what we've got. Did we manage to pull those clouds off? We did, to a certain extent. Not a lot, but we can carry on. Right? No worries here. Just carry on. I think we had a bigger brush. That was the reason. Yep. So now I know the reason why. I had too big a brush. And I'll show you the same thing that I'm going to do on this side, and you're going to say, yeah, you got it. Look at these lovely little clouds I'm going to capture with the shade. So no worries, we're going to go through. I'm going to see if there's opacity. One thing I've got to tell you, and it's really hard for me to explain, is that I have learned to understand the tools more intimately the more I do it. Trust me, it's like never before. And let me see if I can get away with doing that far off area up there. Let me see if I can zoom in this and then try and shape it with this brush size or even less. Let's look. So this means that you can take these drawings strokes that you're doing and rendering it to your, and then do the same when you want to make creative artwork, right? So remember, these are techniques. I'm not trying to show you how well you can produce artwork. Of course you can. That's the only thing that inspires you to continue to draw, isn't it? Let's see if I've managed to pull this off. Let's see if it works, you know? So no more about here. So you might begin to understand these nuances, and then you're basically trying. Oh, I got nothing out of there. That's interesting. So that is very interesting. So what was I doing then? I got absolutely nothing. Is something not working or not? Don't know. So you shouldn't really get frustrated. Maybe I didn't have a proper setting. Let me see if it's making a difference. This is what allows me to shape and improve the app. Let me see if I've... Still nothing. Look at that. So that method is not working. So say bye to that, okay? But anyway, it's given me food for thought. So I'm gonna try a different method, okay? Now tell me what you think. I'm going to go back to the shade because the shade is not working like the way I want it. And now I'm going to try and reduce the density so I have more of a shade-like quality of the density. Now this is a very interesting setting when you come to use the line brush. Think of this as at the 100% density setting as the ink line. Anything, and if you do one stroke, you will create that ink line. But anything below 50, anything below this, above here, means that you will have to do a number of strokes in order to achieve this tonal color, okay? So if I go all the way down here, think of it like an HB brush, but the HB brush doesn't stop at the paper level where you can't create any more higher tones, but you can carry on and on for about 20 strokes and then reach this tone level here. So what does that give you? It allows you the tonal, exactly the tone variations, right? So I'm going to take it to 50% since I failed with the shade brush. I'm going to take that down and then tackle that area that was really bugging me here. This one, this little chap here, and then see what I can do. So I got it to, okay, I'm going to see if that works. And if I can get away with producing like a line strokes. Better, isn't it? Can you see it? Way better. So let's do that again with a smaller brush. Decreased it, and then I might increase it. I feel like I need to increase the threshold a bit more. Even these bits that you haven't done here, you have the opportunity of doing that. This is really improving your style. Trust me, if I were to create a similar drawing in freehand, I would probably do it with these because of practice, isn't it? I've learned what's involved. Look at this wonderful color as well. Don't leave out the light tones as well. Then we can see if we've got the right density. Color picker. Color picker again and again, just picking. That's why we have the color picker right on our. Let's see what we have. I think we managed to get away with that, right? I feel confident that I can tackle the horizon here. I feel like I can now, I switched to a different method. Now, this is very important for you to understand. What I'm doing is I'm using the trace bar to switch between my drawing and the reference image. See that? My drawing, reference image. See that? There's a lot. This looks like a wind farm, doesn't it? So let's keep a brush size. We're about the size that we're gonna sort of blend, right? So we're trying to blend that blue, right? So I'm gonna blend that quickly, okay? And then I'm trying to create that sky effect. So that probably was a little too harsh. So I'm gonna reduce it, okay? And get away with that. And then a little bit of that color there on that side. Okay. And then have we got the horizon done? I believe we have. So if we have used that color, I think we can blend that in there. See that? That's blended, okay. And now let's go to this blue. Okay. and then blend that in. Is there anything blending that's required? Yes, it is. It's like this blue needs to be blended in. Right, so let's blend it in. So notice that I'm using the line brush to do some kind of a blending. And then here. Right, it's the same effect as the shade brush, because I just explained what the line brush does, right? Now let's do this little, what looks like a puppy, doesn't it? It's like a 1.26%, and then we can, if we want to, shape it or go between. I would prefer to go, see these colors here, pick these colors and see what I'm drawing. Okay, here, see what these colors I'm drawing, and then just render it. Notice that what I'm doing, rendering it color. Just watching that, using that color, and then it's got a nice dark color here coming here. And then it's that beautiful, see the small details you can create. And that, even though it's a little off, it's fine, isn't it? I'm not too worried about it. This could be a little bit of a fat teddy bear, isn't it? Than the one we have. Okay, yeah. And then increase the density if you're not getting to. You'll notice that if it's a light shade, you're not going to get the density. Just get that blue here. I need to get that blue to show this teddy bear's hand. Right, and then get these colors. You can see. And if you don't get the colors, pick something you can see. That's the problem. So I'm going to use that to create the rest of the features that I can see here. Right, just quickly. What does this happen? So here, it's under the arms here, and then I got these colors. See what it is, spending such tiny details at that such a low resolution, high resolution. Adding these shapes. Definitely looks, I don't know about you, it looks like a teddy bear to me. Except he's got a tiny head, so let's make his head a bit bigger. Add the different colors. This is what they will do. This is what the great masters have done. They would render the whole thing to look like a mishmash of colors, but as you look away, what do you have? You have a beautiful, look at that. Looks like a teddy bear, isn't it? Now I'm going to show you, you don't have much time left. I'm going to show you how to create this. So I would have to probably finish this because I knew this was a complex. There's no way I was going to get this done in one sitting. It's just too complex. Not challenging. But I did challenge myself, but not to the level where I could not do it. Right, that's important to keep that in mind. So let's pick this color and then just drag this horizon there so that the horizon looks beautiful, isn't it? This is very much like the waterline that Bob Ross uses. He just adds it in and wow, it's like we're all amazed, right? Let's take this up, get a smaller brush, and then let's get these, whatever these are, like, right? Take it down so you don't feel it's too harsh. Right there, I can see some there and there and there, just creating that illusion. And then look at these white areas. If you're not going to capture that white bit, right, capture it from your palette. There, can you see it? Yeah, look, they work quite well. And then you have it looks like a very interesting horizon, isn't it? Look at that. Look at that. So we've captured. This should be a bit darker, I think. Yes. So reduce it. Even that level, you'll get a feel for how much density setting you have to have. Right, let's have a look. Does it look anything like it? It will begin to start looking like it. So what we have here is this cloudy bit that we haven't captured, right? So take that down. Remember, we're working at a very zoom up there. Look at that. We've even got the clouds there. Is that better? Yeah, it's much better, isn't it? And then I'm going to just focus on those clouds because remember I failed in producing the clouds with a bigger brush size. So I'm going to finish it off here. But I'm going to take that down and then take the opacity down as well. And then I'm just going to try and create some, and take it down even more. It's too harsh. And then I got these clouds. Look at that, just creates a beautiful, get these color pickers. If it's not coming out, pick, because I want to keep the same tones. Look at that, yeah. And here, this is how you create photographic real quality, photorealistic quality right on your phone. There. See what we look like. That is looking good, I reckon. And then let's look at this area here. Let's do the clouds on this. So take it down to a level and then put the density somewhere and then let's get these blue clouds. Then if you want to just take it down so you can soften it more. And then here, I could soften it. I'm picking the blue rather than the white. Right. So this is something you could do, because I'm not using any special tools. You don't have to buy anything special from me in order to pull this off, do you? It's all done on your phone, and then you just have to right there, soften it. There, look at that. The blue. I'm picking out that darker areas so I can create a bit of a fluff. Look at that, how the fluff is created. See that? You can even bring it down to create the fluff. Don't say I wasn't able to pull this off. I reckon I was. And if you are, you're probably jealous. Alright, there you are. Look at that. Isn't it amazing how we pulled? And then we can do the remaining. Like this cloud is falling down to the earth. Right, and then some bigger, probably. Look at that, beautiful. Whatever makes it work. You don't have to stick to what the reference image is saying. Now let's see if we pulled it off. I think if you ignore that area here, this little piece of pillar here, you will see that I've managed to pull it off, isn't it? Now, what we can do is, since I have a little bit more time, I'm going to do this baby here. Right? You're not getting away from me. I've got here. Look at that. We're going to work on this little character here. So I've taken up the density because the object is much more pronounced, isn't it, compared to the clouds. Right, just get close to the details. Use click on the color, the zoom, if you're not able to pen zoom. I'm going to put that, take that down. Right there. This is exactly what I did with the fish. I'm not using anything different. There. I'm going to take that into tone. So the reason we can get away with doing this is because we've got this little light down. Look at that. Even that brush is way too big. There. Then I think I'm going to increase that density a little bit. Put that down. Okay. Look at that. This is what I was telling you about creating a mishmash of textures. Nothing difficult, honestly. If you want to pick a darker color, go ahead, because there will be dark regions. There, can you see it? The dark regions. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that I'm in the, so here, look at that, just use a higher density setting if you need to get to the colors quicker, but without affecting the overall impression of the drawing, right? Look at that blooming white, so with the lights hitting it, really. Right. See that? All the different colors. Just adding texture to it. Like, you don't need a brush for adding textures like this. It's ridiculous. When are you going to find a brush that's called snow human textures? It's just ridiculous, isn't it? People rush to tools without really thinking much. But I don't blame them, because they haven't got anyone to show them, have they? Look how I'm going to pull this off. This is very easy. Easier than you think. Trust me. Looks like a ribbing, like his stomach, isn't it? It's incredible how... So I'm going to get this darker color, which I'm failing to get. If you are, then just get to the dark color this way. Right there. Right, there you are. If you can't get it from a color picker, there's many other ways you can get it. Then this white here, I don't know what that is. Oops, I didn't pick that, the white one. So all I'm doing is just creating a mishmash what looks, because the sun's so far away, the details doesn't have to be that great. You know, just like drawing in, like the great art masters, isn't it? There's always something to be learned, but I don't think there has been a point in time where we've had this advanced technology to help us appreciate that more than ever now. Wow, look at these colors. They're amazing, isn't it? Just putting into these. Look at that blue ledge here. All right, let's get that lovely ledge working right there. Then we have this weird light strokes here, giving dimension, yeah? That's all it does. Look at that, the dimensions there. Just pick these down, and you get better and better at this. Trust me, you get better and better at this. These colors that change around here. Then pick another color that changes. It's not happening, is it? Not quite like what I wanted, but anyway, I can use this color and just get the effects I'm looking for. This white beautiful white ridge here. We didn't know what it is. Sometimes you don't know what you're drawing, but when you do finish it, it's like, wow, that's what it is. So I'm going really fast, as you can see. So let's see what we have here. Look at that. We pulled it off, didn't we? Look at that top of that tree. It looks like snow, doesn't it? But you can tell that this is definitely going to take a lot longer than usual. So I reckon I'll set myself a challenge that I will finish this in giving probably another 45 minutes of time if I were totally focused in it and talking to myself, not to you guys. And then you can see the final drawing. So this is it. Textures, no, you don't need brushes. Textures you create. Blending, no, you don't need blending tool. Blending you create, you do it by hand. And what else can I say? Colors, density, no, you don't need any other settings. You do it with the density setting you have. You don't need other fancy tools. Or layers, no need for layers. We're working on the same layer. So there you are, and to show you the power of the digital medium if you use the right technique. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Please subscribe so I can keep bringing you these on a daily basis to inspire me, and not just your subscription, but also any comments and feedback, and say you've liked this or you have a particular comment on this particular drawing or something. And please do post your drawings so I can provide you with valuable feedback. Okay, well, thank you for watching, and then I'll hope to see you. Don't forget, there's another one actually coming up in 15 minutes time, so just gives me enough time for a quick break, and then I'll hop onto the other channel. You'll find the link of the next live session, and it's a similar drawing to this, but I may use a different approach. Who knows, right? That's the beauty of art. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the other channel. See you again soon. Thanks. Bye.